Hello, everyone, and happy Wednesday. I'm Elsa W. Smith, your Maryland estate planning attorney, and I'm the owner of the law offices of Elsa W. Smith, where our mission is to empower women through estate planning. Welcome to another Women Winning Wednesdays. I'm so glad that you're able to join me today. You know, through our guests and educational content, my hope is to provide you with glimpses of what an empowered woman is and what she needs to win. As a reminder, I want you to give StreamYard permission for us to see your comments. And you do that by going to StreamYard.com/Facebook. StreamYard.com/Facebook. Say hi. Let me know where you're listening from. And by the way, if you catch this on the replay, make sure and put a hashtag replay in the comments. So with that said, let's just jump right into it. Today's topic is something I think is pretty timely. You know, it's traveling this summer, what you need to know before you go. Now, the world is slowly opening up again. Now, if you're on social media, you've probably already started seeing photos of friends and family going on vacation. You know, we've been cooped up for a year or more, so we are more than ready to get back out there. Now, whether you are taking a trip to another state or another country, I'm going to give you some tips, some suggestions from the perspective of an estate planning attorney to help you be a smarter traveler. So let's jump into it. And by the way, you are welcome to post comments or questions and let me know what you think about the tips that I'm going to share. And for your convenience, I'm going to post each one on the screen as I talk about it. And I think that'll make it easier for those of you who are taking notes either now or on the replay. So with that said, let's get started. The first tip is to have an up-to-date estate plan in place before traveling. Now, if you don't have a complete estate plan before you start traveling, use your trip date as a deadline to really get those documents finished. Now, for those of you who already have an estate plan in place, gold star for you, I would suggest reviewing them just to make sure that they're accurate. You know, an estate plan, and I tell this to my clients, an estate plan should be reviewed whenever there's a significant life change. Right? What I mean are births, deaths, divorces, acquisition of property, and so forth, and changes in marital status. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, review your trust and beneficiary designations. Okay, so for many people, the main motive behind estate planning is to make sure that your loved ones are going to be taken care of when you're no longer around. So it's important to check, and as I say, check again, that your beneficiaries are up to date. Similarly, it's important to make changes in your plan if, say, a beneficiary has passed away, or if your preferences have changed regarding your beneficiary designations. What do I mean? If you have an insurance policy that leaves the proceeds, split down the middle 50-50 between two beneficiaries, your thoughts may have changed. You now may want to go 70-30, 60-40, whatever the case may be. Just make sure that your designations reflect what you want currently. Okay. And if you have, by the way, if you have a living trust, make sure that it is properly funded and assets properly titled into the name of the trust. This will prevent assets from being controlled and dispersed by a court in the event that a beneficiary is a minor or becomes incapacitated. Failing to properly set up a trust really can result in unnecessary time and court costs for your surviving heirs. Moving right along to number 3, review and update your insurance. There's going to be some overlap with some of these tips, but that may be a good thing. Review and update your insurance. Before you travel, that period is a great time to just put eyes on your insurance policies. Check the amount of life insurance coverage that you have and see whether it still meets your family's needs. Consider getting long-term care insurance to pay for those expenses that you may have. And, in the event, heaven forbid, something happens while you're on travel, on holiday, and you suffer an illness or an injury. So review and update your insurance. Moving along to number 4. Review and update your incapacity documents. Everyone in your family over the age of 18 needs to have these documents. So what am I referring to? A healthcare power of attorney, right? That gives another person legal authority to make healthcare decisions for you if you're unable to make them yourself. A living will, which describes the type of life support treatment you want and for how long. And a HIPAA authorization. HIPAA stands for Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. That gives written consent for healthcare providers to discuss your healthcare information with others, including your family members. So you want to make sure that you have them and that they are up to date. Okay. What do you think so far? Let me check the comments here. We're going to move right along. Number 5, organize your accounts and documents. Yes, yes, yes. Listen, especially, you should do this anyway, but especially before you travel. And it's going to make things a lot easier for whoever you name as your, trustee, or if you pass away, your personal representative. Make a list of all of your accounts, where they're located, usernames, and passwords. Then review and update that list before each trip. You want to print a hard copy. Why? In case your computer is stolen or it crashes, and let someone that you trust know where to find it. We keep so much in the cloud that we fail to just take that extra step and just print a backup, like a hard copy, just in case. And then clean up your computer desktop and put your financial and other important files where someone can easily find them. At times we get really busy and we've got a gazillion things on our desktop. I'm guilty of it as well. And periodically I've got to go in and tidy up my desktop. So that's my suggestion to you, particularly before you travel. Just tidy that up, even if it just means putting everything that is non-essential into one folder and then designating another folder for your important financial or estate planning documents, like in another folder, just so that it's easy and it's clear to identify for anyone that needs to gain that access. So that was number 5. Number 6, keep important documents accessible. This kind of dovetails behind the one that we just talked about. There is so much that you can do now in the cloud that may not be a paper trail. That's what we just talked about. And if the worst happens, tragedy strikes while you're on vacation, special planning can save your loved ones at home from scrambling to locate those documents. So make it easier for them to find by making them easily accessible to a trusted person. Now, those paper documents should be kept in some sort of weatherproof container so that they're not subjected to physical damage. I just not too long ago, I did a poll on LinkedIn, and the people that responded, there were a number of folks who said that they keep their estate plans in a fireproof safe. That's a great idea. So I suggest that to you. I mean, it's weatherproof, fireproof, obviously, but just make sure that your trusted person has the combination or the key to gain access to those documents. Number 7, special interest to me, establish a care plan for your pets. Now, to provide complete protection for your fur or feathered baby, consider a pet trust. Now, with a pet trust, you can leave your pet money and a legal obligation to care for your pet. If the caretaker fails to follow your instructions, he or she can be sued. So in this pet trust, in this trust document, you can name the pets that are to be covered. Name a caretaker. You can also leave an amount of money to be used for the pet's care. You can describe how your pet should be cared for. You can name a person to go to court and enforce the terms of the trust if necessary, right? And the trust can also state what should be done with any money that's left over when the animal passes away, when the animal dies. Okay, and also you can describe how your pet should be cared for if you can't take care of him or her before your death. Right? Now, and advantages to using a pet trust include, you create a legal obligation to care for your pet as you want, as you wish, right? 2, you provide accountability for the money that you've left for that caretaker. And 3, it allows you to set up a caretaking plan that will take effect in the event that you become incapacitated, right? So those are some advantage of using a pet trust. And that is something that you should have in place if you don't already. So I would strongly urge you to consider a pet trust. And then the last tip applies to folks traveling internationally. And I know that there are some of my colleagues and friends that have already started traveling internationally. Some are avid travelers. But in addition to your estate planning tools, there's other paperwork that you should make sure you have before you start traveling internationally. So to be fully prepared, consider having these things with you on your trip. An updated vaccination record. Sometimes these things can be, stored on your phone, as many things are nowadays, stored in the cloud. So an updated vaccination record, a copy of your marriage license, a secondary photo ID in addition to your passport. You also want to have proof of international health insurance or insurance that can be used internationally. You also want to have, child travel consent. Now, if you're traveling with your child and share joint custody with the other parent, that's going to be particularly important. Excuse me. And lastly, your child's birth certificate, if you're traveling with your child. So those are some tips, especially if you are traveling internationally. I hope that these tips have been valuable to you. Thank you, Alexandra. Yes, we always have to consider the fur babies. Absolutely. Hold on. There we go. So If you are traveling, I want you to take these 8 tips under consideration. And if you need assistance in getting started with your estate plan, I want to encourage you to get in contact with us at the law offices of Elsa W. Smith. You can call us at 410-995-7719. And by the way, also, before I go, I want to offer you a free 21-point estate planning checklist. You can go to my website. You've been seeing it scroll across the screen there at elsawsmithlaw.com/checklist. Let me put that on the screen. There we go. Yeah, it's a free checklist. It'll help you to start to get organized. And it's a great tool to have, before you make that call to talk to an estate planning attorney. I also want to invite you to join my growing YouTube community at Elsa W. Smith Law. Visit, subscribe, please. And check out all the free videos that I have on estate planning. Listen to it on the go. Share the videos with friends and family. And let me know what you think. I'm always interested to know what you guys want to hear and what topics you want me to cover, not only on these lives, but also, as YouTube videos. Because I'm usually putting out a video each week. So go visit, subscribe, let me know what you think. Let me hear from you, because I'm always interested to know what you guys think. I want to thank you so much for joining me today on another episode of Women Winning Wednesdays. Feel free to join us next week for another live segment of Women Winning Wednesdays. I'm Elsa W. Smith, your Maryland estate planning attorney, empowering women through estate planning. Take care and have a fabulous day. Travel safely, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.